What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Threes Journeys podcast. It's your boy LYMAN. I got Camp on the left, GIHSO on my right.
Let's go.
It might show up different for you on the recording, but hey, it is what it is.
Right.
Much love to y'all. Happy to be here for another episode. 5th episode, y'all. What do you think about that?
I love it. We
Yeah.
here.
Enjoying the whole ride.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
listen,
been fun
tonight.
since the start.
Yeah, for sure, right? And tonight we're tackling something most people run from like it's contagious. That stinky word we call failure.
Mm.
Yeah. Hey, but let me tell you, failure isn't just a part of life. It's essential to grow. And if you've been conditioned to believe failure is shameful, this episode might just flip your whole damn mindset. First, let me shout out our incredible community. The love from episode 1 all the way to 4 is unreal. One of y'all wrote, I think y'all nailed it on the head. Every day is a new day and may or may not be a struggle. Take each day as it is and continue to go back to your why. Thank you for sharing your stories and the vulnerability that all 3 of you are showing. Much needed. And that one hit me. Another one said, one thing that helps me when I'm struggling, I start singing. It always turns my day around. Thank you all for always keeping a safe space.
Wow.
To my guy GIHSO, who got a special shout out. Like I said, the people love the GIHSO voice. I like what you said, to do it for you, because many times our reason why can be the kids or our relationship, but it has to start with us.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this space is sacred, y'all. And I'm humbled to walk this journey with these 2 fine gentlemen and this wonderful community that we've created, and to share this journey with y'all. So with that being said, let's dive right in. I wanted to kick it off with maybe perhaps on this first segment, rewiring what failure really means. At least for me, I was raised to think failure equaled weakness. Lose a game, you suck, right?
Yeah.
Lose a job, you're worthless. Lose a marriage, you're broken.
Yeah.
Over the years, I believe what I've learned and what I'm still learning today is failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. We can look to some of the most iconic people we know. Look at Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team.
Yeah.
Right? Oprah Winfrey fired because they said she wasn't fit for TV. What?
Right?
You know how much money that woman has?
Yeah.
I believe she still has a mansion here somewhere in Utah, if I remember correctly. Maybe she doesn't anymore, but at one point for sure she did.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey comes to mind. Slept in his car for 3 years.
Yeah.
Dude failed so much. Now he has more businesses than TV shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? J.K. Rowling, 12 publishers said nah before Harry Potter changed the world.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a life without Harry Potter?
Right. I
Very
cannot.
true. Very true.
Some people would lose their damn mind.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
Some people wouldn't know how to wake up in the morning.
Absolutely.
How about The Rock? Cut from football, from the CFL.
Yeah.
A Canadian Football League, I think is what they call it, right?
It was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep.
He was broke. I can't remember what he said in one of his things. He had like a few dollars to his name. I can't remember how much he said exactly, but he was broke. He was depressed. Now he's got more streams of income than I've got streaming services.
True.
That's good.
And
That's
nowadays,
good, right?
those are a lot.
That's good. Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, the moral of the story here, and I'll turn it over to you fellas for this first segment, but failure isn't fatal unless you stay down. These people didn't avoid failure. They used it like rocket fuel. And I'm humbled researching and going through different topics and trying to reflect from my journal what the story of this whole podcast really means to me.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to dive right into it. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to one of y'all folks.
Listen, man, I'll catch the ball, right? Since you're throwing spirals out here. I'll go ahead and catch the ball, man. Community, we love you. Thank you, right, for the beautiful words. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep showing up for you guys, right? And importantly, we're showing up for us. This is why this happens, right? It's not for anybody else, really. It's for us. Then it will emulate and say, hey, oh my goodness, right? Then it'll be for other people, but we got to show up for us first. Yeah. Failure, man. Let me start with that because, like you said, I was taught that if you lose, you are a loser, right? I mean, if you didn't win, if you wasn't first, Ricky Bobby, right? All these things that, right, came to mind when I was growing up, man. You pulled out some powerful people, man, people that I look up to. Like Michael Jordan is for me top of the list, man. And like you said, he was cut from his high school basketball team, right? To reiterate that. But failure to me, man, y'all, it's a teacher, right? It's a part of life that will show you some of your weaknesses. It can also show you some of your strengths, right?
Yeah.
For
Definitely.
me, I had a coach that taught me something that was so powerful. Whether we won a game, whether we lost a game, he would go back and then show us footage of the game, what we could have done better, how we could have moved better, right? And he always would say this, that you have to learn how to lose to win. And I never understood that. I was like, Coach, what are you talking about? I don't ever want to lose. He said, no, son, you're missing it. You want to fail. You want to lose so you can learn how to win. And it hit me. I was in a basketball game, and now our season wasn't great. We lost a lot of games, right? But we showed up every day for practice. We run drills. We run, back and forth, touching the line and stuff. We showed up. And all those games that I can remember that we lost, there came a time in this game, right? Or there's coming time in your life where things will look familiar. You're like, oh, wait a minute. I've seen this before. It's playing out before. I remember this. I remember 2 weeks ago, I lost this game, but everything is falling into place. And the last time that I remember in this game, I drove to the hole and I missed. Okay, maybe this time I'll shoot from the free throw line. Or there's so many different nuances that you can pull from that. And I remember playing, and it was maybe 10 seconds left on the clock and was running down. And I said, oh my goodness, I remember this. This is familiar. And I did my move, and I drove to the basket, and I pulled up for a jumper, and I shot it, and I made it. And it was like, oh, greatness, right? It was so powerful, right? It was a buzzer beater. But I thought back to my coach and what he taught me. He said, son, you have to lose in life. You have to fail in life to learn how to win. Failure puts you in positions and situations to say, oh, I won't go down this way before. I lost this way. I failed on this one. This looks familiar to me. Let me about face. Let me do something different, right? It teaches us to build and to keep going. It teaches you how to make new strategies. It allows you to pick yourself back up and say, okay, if that didn't get it, let me try a new way. It teaches you a growth mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'll dive right into it. I would have to say the real truth behind me and learning from my failures. I've had 2 other businesses. I've started different projects, and every time I got to that point where it's like, okay, this could be that defining moment, then I'd either one figure it was getting too hard or it wasn't coming easy enough, and I'd walk away. So that's in its own itself a failure. But I learned from that, though. I mean, like I've gotten to the point where I kept building up, and then something would happen, and I'd just be like, okay, this is too much, and I'd walk away, and then I would build up a little more, and I'd go a little further the next time, and I'm like, no, I'll just walk away again, and it's like, wait, no, okay, I see the pattern here.
Right.
Now it's time to keep showing up. Now it's time to keep pushing. Now it's time to keep driving. And it's just I've learned from those steps each time. I'm like, well, I know I can do this. There's no failure to be had because it's just a hiccup. I see, you could do 100 failures. It's 100 learning lessons. There's no, I don't see it as a failure anymore. I see it as a learning lesson. I see it as, okay, so I did it wrong this way, or this fell apart. Let's rearrange, think a little differently, come at it in a different direction. or don't push this, don't push this or that. So it's like, okay, no, I can do this. We're just going to keep going forward. I've done it so many times, unfortunately, and it's hard to keep pushing forward. But you know what? Like we've said before, you just got to keep pushing for yourself. You got to keep showing up. You got to keep getting past those hurdles, and it's a tough battle for anybody, and no matter what your situation is. And it's just, I'm kind of like lacking words at this moment, but I just know it's doable.
Yeah.
I love what you said, Camp, and that's the whole purpose of why I prompted the question, because it's redefining how we look at it. And you said it perfectly, reshaping the way that we think about it.
Yeah.
For me, I've failed loudly, messily, sometimes hilariously. My first marriage, I wasn't abusive or absent, but I was emotionally unavailable. I performed every day. I provided for sure, but I didn't connect. And when that ended, I can't tell you how much it rocked my world. It felt like I failed at being a man, a father, a partner.
Wow.
But that failure stripped me down to what I know today to be true. My truth, my why, my path that I'm currently on.
Yeah.
It taught me what love isn't. And it eventually made space for what love is. My marriage to Samaya, where vulnerability is my currency now.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget, the little things that I try to do to impress, building home projects or trying to be slick here and there, coming home early and putting a hole in the wall instead of, trying to fix something, trying to be hot shot, trying to be the man, right?
Yeah.
Little do people know my wife's an engineer, and she's a lot better at most of those things than me.
Oh, wow.
Hey, but at least you can admit it, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story here for this segment is failure humbles you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
Sometimes it soaks your socks.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
And I really feel that. Feel that.
Yeah. Well, listen, let me pose a question to you guys and say this, right? Because we all have, gone through it, some of our stories and stuff. But when, or do you even remember the time when you first learned the concept that failure is important, or the importance of failure? Like, do you remember a time in your life?
Yeah. Actually, I just recently, well, not recently, but like about 5 years ago when I became sober. That was my defining moment. Like, okay, I hit that rock bottom. I'm like, okay, so yep, this is what I think failure is. But yet then I realized, okay, now I can start building. Now I can start becoming a new person. It was a rough path to do, but that's just what got me to where I am now. Got us to where we are now, doing what we're doing here. I mean,
Absolutely.
if those things hadn't happened, we wouldn't be here. So there's a reason for it, and it was painful when it happened, but that was that moment when I first just kind of was like, okay, all right, I get it, okay, big guy, I get it, all right.
That's how it be.
I realized what I did. Okay, now it's time to wake up and flip that switch back and start looking at it in a positive direction.
Yeah.
For me, well, I'll hit you with a small story first. I've been in the military for about 20 years now. Active duty for roughly 17 years. So I'm on the back end of my career.
Right.
Early on, I didn't know what I wanted out of the military, and I didn't know what it would lead to, but I certainly never thought I would be a leader. I didn't think I had the capacity for it. I joined the military to learn all those things. I didn't think I was worthy enough. I didn't think I had the skills. I didn't think I had the patience. I didn't think I had the leadership qualities. I didn't think I had a voice. And
wow.
So to not just my military folks out there, But to anybody in that type of a situation, for whatever career opportunity you have, if you go to that mindset, you're only going to fail.
Yeah.
You're only going to fail. Because you have to rewire your brain and think about it differently. And had I approached it with a different mindset, I might be a lot more successful today. But regardless, I found my path. And today I'm a master sergeant.
Wow.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people make it to that rank. And now I can say I have the option of being a first sergeant. I have an option of being a sergeant major and a command sergeant major before I end my career in 3 years.
Yeah.
That's an option. That's not something that I have to, I mean, of course, yeah, I have to work toward it, right? But it's not something that is out of my purview. You know what I mean? It's there for the taking. And I know it's there. And I know I meet all of the qualities and all the necessities that come along with that leadership role. Yeah. And so let me hit you with some stories just to back that up. If you think failure doesn't hit the best of us, Brian, I think you brought David Goggins up in one of our episodes, and you know I love me some Navy SEALs. David Goggins, listen, that dude, I've read his book, I listened to his podcasts and all his interviews. I love a lot of the stuff he has to say. But this dude failed his ASVAB. That's the test, if people don't know, that you have to take to get into the military, right?
Yeah.
And it defines what job you're going to do for the military. He failed out of Navy SEAL training, right? Yeah. There was a point in his life that he weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now the dude runs ultra marathons for fun.
Yeah. For fun.
For fun.
Yes.
And he's crazy about it.
Yeah.
He'll light up your world with stories about it. And it's mind-blowing to me. He says you have to be willing to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to fail again and again to become to become someone new.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And another story for Jocko Willink. Jocko Willink. Have you guys heard of him? He has a podcast.
No.
He was an ex-Navy SEAL commander.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, you shared it last time.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Yeah.
No, different dude.
Oh, okay.
Different guy.
I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He talks openly. Nah, yeah, it's all right. He talks openly about operational mistakes that cost lives.
Okay.
And I love when he speaks about these things because it hits home for me. And
you
know what he did? He owned it. He says the leader is always responsible. So failure didn't wreck him. He, like we're talking about, redefined it.
Yeah.
And in the process, refined himself.
Yeah.
And last one for me, Mike Glover. He was a Green Beret and ex-CIA contractor.
Mm-hmm.
Life fell apart after the military for him. He had no direction. He had massive depression. And now he's a CEO of Fieldcraft Survival. Mm-hmm. His failures birthed purpose.
Yeah.
And so I look to these people. These are people I look up to in the military, right? They may no longer be in, but they still serve a big purpose in my life. And I've learned from their failures. And it just speaks to even the best in the world fail to me.
Yeah.
But they learn, they adapt, and they keep going. You don't need to wear a trident or a tab to live by that. It's for the taking for any of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever field craft you're in.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, and that's powerful. You're right. It hits everybody, right? Maybe at different times, maybe at different seasons of their life, but everybody is hit with that. And it's up to you to decide, will I learn from this? Will I grow from this? Will I become something new from this? Man, that's powerful, man. You're right about that. Yeah. Now, let me pose another question, right? There's something that's just been on my heart about this. What's one of the biggest lies about failure that people believe? Because I think it's something that we have to, deprogram people to think about, right? Failure. But yeah, this just a quick question. Yeah. What's one of the biggest lies you guys think?
I would have to say the biggest one that I've come across is that failure is the end of it. like you fail, okay, you go back to whatever you were doing before.
Mhm.
You know, you go back to that one thing you don't want to keep wanting to do. You know, if you're
Mhm.
doing the 9 to 5, if you're doing something else, you know, you start working on side hustles and you're like, okay, we're going to put our time into this. And then you start getting things going. And if it fails, okay, well, I guess we go back to doing this and, you know, just kind of throwing your dreams in the trash,
Yeah.
you know, and I know that's not the case,
Right.
but, you know, that's just one thing I've always thought. That's why I was so afraid when I started diving into these things.
Yeah.
You know, started trying to push your own business, try to push your own dreams. It's not easy, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this taboo phrase that if you fail, you have to be quiet about it.
Mm. That's
Right?
good.
When I failed privately, I spiraled
Yeah.
because I was, like you said, Brian, in I think the last episode, you spend too much time up here. There's a lot going on up there.
It's a lot.
You might not want to do that. And I did that privately a lot, and I spiraled out of control.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the kicker. When I shared it with community, that's when I grew.
Mm.
Yep.
Our community has shown me that failure doesn't need to be met with shame.
Right.
100%.
It can be met with support,
Yep.
a whole lot of laughter,
Yep.
and a ton of love.
Yeah.
And when one of y'all drops a comment like we mentioned before, I mean, I can't even tell you. It's not just me or GIHSO here or camp. It's all of us.
Yeah.
We're failing forward together.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
what I love so much about
Yes.
this. This is what inspires me to keep coming every Tuesday or Thursday if I don't show up.
Whatever happens, you know,
Life.
we all run into
Life.
life. It happens.
Right.
Life happens. But doing it together, you know, and just realizing that, hey, I'm not the only one in this. There are people that have so many different things going on in their life, and they're willing to share the story with you.
Yeah.
And if you're vulnerable enough to be a leader and come out here and talk about these things like the three of us are doing, there's a whole community of people that are willing and able to be impacted by this, and they want to lean in with you and put the shoulder to the work.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to grind with y'all. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I got.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I
it was
love that,
like-
man.
I just was like weird because like I was just tossing out the logo samples to you guys, you know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, we'll see what kind of responses I get. And in my mind, since I do graphic design, I guess I don't take pride in my work as much as I should. You know, like I can do it. It's not, you know, in my mind, it's not like it's that difficult. But like when I get the response, it's just oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. Whatever it may be. I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm not totally loony.
Yeah.
Simple things like that, man. You know, like you said, grow together. We're building this all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what, man, you got a talent, brother.
Wow. Yes.
So if you ever feel like you need some positivity towards that mindset that you're in, that we'll just see how this turns out. Dude, let me fluff up your pillow a little bit because I was impressed. I love, dude, that compass, bro.
Yeah.
We're not going to give too much away on this, but that compass,
Yeah. We don't want to give all the secrets away just yet.
Yeah.
my man, dude, that thing is fly. But I really do love that other one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's tough, man. Yeah. When I saw him, I said, yeah, either what was it, one or two that I said,
Yeah.
man, this is tight, man. This is tough. Yeah. But no, man, this topic to me, man, really hits home because man, I used to be real hard on myself, man. You know, I used to be dogmatic on myself, man. And I would think that like you said, Camp, that was it. When I failed, nope, it's just no picking up the pieces.
Yep.
And I would go to that dark place in my mind. I go to that hard place, right? That place that no one should really see.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Facts.
But for me, man,
Padlocked.
it's bad luck, right? But for me, man, I think the importance of failure is it teaches you how to get numb to the failure. It teaches you to keep learning, keep reinvesting, right? You know, it's almost like kids. It's like, I'm gonna put my hand in a cookie jar, pow, right? Well, I want that cookie. I'm gonna find a way
Right.
to get that cookie, man. But I think it absolutely teaches those lessons, man. And for me, the biggest lie, but you guys both hit it on the head for me too. Like those are the number one and number two, that's it, right? Or you give up, or it doesn't hit everybody, and it does. It doesn't matter who you are, right? You can be the richest person on the planet. You still have those moments. And I was listening to Will Smith, and he was talking about this one time, and someone asked him about failure. He said, if you start in a business, fail fast. If you start in anything, fail fast. He said, that's how you learn quick to, to adapt, to maneuver differently. He said, fail fast. And that's what I believe. And that's why I've been going so hard on my journey with the GIHSO community and stuff, man. I just grabbed the microphone and said, okay, let's go. And I learned through the way certain things that I would say, listen, we're all on, the other platform, and there's certain things you cannot say. And I had said a word, not thinking it was anything, and right? And I got hit with a violation. I was like, man, I love everybody. What do you, just the way I talk. And I had to learn, man, as you go through that, man. But I think if we accept failure, if we learn how to embrace it and put it in its right parts and right places, man, you can absolutely find other people on your journey who's dealing with the same thing. The Soulful Threes, absolutely, bro. You find other people.
We're right there. This is we've had to fail to get here.
Yes.
We've had to fail to get here, and that's it. I mean, there's no other way around it.
No.
We've all had our ups, we've had our downs, and this is what culminates over time.
Yeah.
You have to hit that rock bottom, or you have to fail at whatever business. You have to fail at a marriage or life or whatever the scenario is to get anywhere. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's a part of life.
Yeah.
As much as we don't like to admit it, as much as we like to run from it, as much as we like to think it's some fluff that we can just pretend it's not there, don't play the perfection game. Don't waste your time. Just fail. Just get it done. Get it over with. Just make sure it's not as tragic as some things have been, and don't end up in jail or anything like that.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Yeah.
Listen, I've learned to love it. Honestly.
Yeah.
I used to hate it. And I used to beat myself up, like I've mentioned in the past. I used to just get on my own case day after day, failure after failure. Like, man, you're weak. You're not strong enough. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the capability. But failure tells you what didn't work. And listen, I love learning. I'm a big history buff, and I love leaning into anything that I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I like being the know-it-all.
Yeah.
I do. I'm going to be honest with you. I love when people come to me with questions and I have the answer ready.
Same thing with me when it comes to
and that's all. That's all. Yeah. It's a message, y'all. It's not a verdict. It's not a life sentence.
Yeah. It's not.
It can be if you let it, but it doesn't have to be is the key message there. It doesn't have to be. You can rewire your brain, like Brian said, to look at it from a different perspective, in other words, and change that story for yourself.
Yeah.
What do you want out of it?
Yeah.
If you want it to be a failure, cool. Just don't let it keep you down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't go back into here. Stay out of here. Stay out of here. You can go there for a minute. Okay. If you want to reflect, go ahead. But make sure you come back out of there soon. It's okay to not be okay, but don't let it consume you. It's nowhere to be. Stay nowhere to live.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You're right about that, man. So, gentlemen, not to change the topic, right? We'll get back to it, but I want to bring up something real quick that I had read an article, right? I just want to get your thoughts on it. A lot of times we're hit with a lot of negative news and things that are happening right throughout the world in your neighborhoods. So I try to go and read articles of positivity, or if somebody's doing something major for a community, right, just to help them out. And I read this article that there's this developer in California. He has developed a neighborhood that is fire resistant, like build homes. And I said, what? That's like thinking outside the box. That's, California, a lot of places get hit with a lot of, some of those fires, and it's devastating, right? We know major people that have lost their home. I remember one time seeing The Rock. He was like, my home. And I was like, whoa, buddy. Right.
Yeah.
But that's something that was just so powerful, man, that he had the mindset, because, you know, people may in those instances may feel like, man, I failed in life. Fire came and took everything from me. I don't have anything. Right. To think outside the box, to help people say, I got an idea. And he's building communities out there, man. What do you guys think about that, man?
Yeah, it's awesome that you mentioned that, because I just had this conversation today with a retired colonel and a chief warrant officer in the military here in Utah. He's big into the ham radio community, and
Okay.
I deal in emergency communications as my specialty
Uh-huh.
currently in the military. And so we got to talking, and he mentioned that story and how it's impacting Utah and the ham radio community, and what they're doing to kind of educate folks on how to prepare your homes, because fire season's in effect a good portion of the year here in Utah and this whole region, really. But anytime we hear about the failures in California, we learn from those here. And he talked about how some communities, you know, are cutting down the shrubbery and the trees from around their home. And guess what happens? The result of that is that their home didn't burn. And so now they still have a home.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing. And so I took that story and I learned from it, and I kind of just listened. I didn't have any feedback for him. I just kind of just listened to him, and I loved everything about it, because it just reinvigorated this topic for me, that failure is feedback. Not to tie it back to it or anything, but failure is feedback. You launched a business in a tank. Guess what? That's market feedback.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. You fell off your routine. That's discipline feedback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You hurt someone you love. That's emotional feedback.
Yeah. Come on.
All of it can be feedback. You don't want to throw that away. You want to study it. You want to learn from it. And so these communities, they've learned from what happened in Hawaii. They learned what's happening in California on a regular basis. And now they're starting to build their homes around that. And I just think it's so beautiful to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the ideas are solid. I don't see anything against it. I think it'd be kind of a cool idea to start doing that. At least being able to put the awareness out there, and like Lyman said, it's a learning experience. It's figuring it out and growing from it.
No, absolutely, man. Gentlemen, I can really see us going to schools and talking to kids about this, man, because I always felt that if you have an opportunity to reach them a little bit younger, right, you can help lessen the blow, or give them tools to get through life a little bit easier. I didn't have a place or a safe space or a podcast that I could listen to, right, that would help me in my journey, man. It was hard. It was hard for me, but I always believe this, and I'll keep saying this: things that you can't find, we must become.
Yes.
And that's for other people. That's to, bring in awareness and bring a light to other folks, right? To help, I'm holding my lantern. It's this way. I'm this way. Children this way. That's me. Man, I see myself all gray hair, gray beard, telling stories. I see that for me so vividly, man. And I love that aspect. But it's about all my failures through life. And you compile them to a beautiful summary of how did you survive? How did you get back up? How did you overcome that? Right. And Grandpa GIHSO would tell stories of things, man. But it makes my heart happy, man. Teaming up with two powerful men that really love people, right? That's passionate about their community, that's passionate about their families, man. Everything that we go through, man. I mean, I'm learning more and more about you guys, and I just want to throw some flowers at you, man, because I love y'all. And y'all are wonderful human beings, man. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I can say I haven't found anybody that I can call a brother in a long time. I'm being honest with you. So
thank you, Brian.
Right there with you. Right there with you, man. I appreciate it.
Likewise. I share those sentiments. Hey, listen, I'm always down to educate kids. I love going to the classroom every year.
Yeah.
I get dressed up in my nice greens and previously my blues, and I go to my daughter's school and I speak on Veterans Day. And
awesome.
I love sharing these stories with the kids. And I have this quote let's see if I can remember it, that I came up with. Failure is the classroom where humility sits front row.
Hmm.
And it's so
Wow.
true.
Hmm.
I love educating the kids, because if I can teach them how to fail forward, I wasn't given that. And like y'all already said, you haven't been given that in your lives either. And if I can teach that next generation how to fail forward, I've done my part.
Yeah.
I've done my part. You get better when you face it. You get stronger when you own it. And if you can laugh at it while you're learning from it, man, let me tell you what, you're already winning. You're already winning. And so I'm game, GIHSO. I'm game for it all.
Man, Lyman, you all in my messages, man. All in my messages, man. Especially when it talks about laughter, man. Okay, I know this isn't a time for laughter, but I got to throw this little piece in here, this segment about laughter, man. Laughter is so powerful, man. It's so strong, man. Like, laughter to me, this lady was dealing with an issue, and it was something in her body that it was plagued with, right? And she was trying to figure out, how to find some healing, how to go, different places, when doctors say, no, that's what it is. You only got so much time left, right? But if you can extract the joy and laughter when you're faced against something, man, it releases some type of power, some type of superpower, man. Laughter is one of the best things. As the Bible say, it does the heart good. It's medicine for your soul. It's good for you, right? When you laugh, man, and not just to be funny, right? But to laugh at what you're coming up against, bro. You go in there with so much more resolve.
Mm-hmm.
You go against you. All right, man. That's for another topic, man. I don't want to get off into that, man. But you said something that was so
Okay.
powerful, Lyman.
I love it. Yeah, I love it, man. I mean, if you can't laugh at your failures, I mean, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? You're just going to be stuck in the dreary world that is the pit of your gut.
Yeah.
In the weakness messages, and I'm not good enough, and woe is me. Like, get out of that self-pity. It's not going to do you any good.
Yeah. I've dealt with that a lot more recently. I've actually been able to push towards the laughter more. I don't know what it was. Nothing really made me even giggle half the time. It's just I was always so down about everything. I'm like, no, now it's time to enjoy the journey, enjoy the moments. There's no more there's no more tough times ahead. If there is, we've got brothers to help through it, so it's all good. We just got to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, Camp, one of the things that turned me on to you when I first started listening to you and met with I think it was in your live stream, or maybe you had said something. I can't remember what the scenario was. Yeah, it had to have been in your live stream, because I heard you, and you were laughing, and your laugh is contagious.
Yes, it is, bro.
Share it with the world, because it brings a smile to my face when you laugh. It does.
Absolutely.
And I don't say that to be weird. I just
I get it. The funny thing is, when I hear my own laughter, though, like when it's recorded, and in my head, I'm like, I don't know if that's a self-reflection thing or what that is,
maybe,
but when you record yourself, and you tried doing editing and stuff, it took me forever to start wanting to do my own editing. I just wanted to give it to somebody else for any sort of video editing, just because I couldn't deal with my own voice and my own laugh. But I'm like, now I'm starting to accept it. Be like, okay, there's reason for it.
That's funny, because it's a reminder for me anytime I hear you laugh, like when I'm listening to your lives, to smile more, because I'm a super somber person. I'm always in my feels. And so even on these podcasts, I come across probably a little drier, a little more even toned, and it's because that's just my personality.
Right.
And there are definitely days that I come out of my shell, and I make people laugh just subtly, and I don't even try to.
That's awesome.
But it's a constant reminder for myself to get out of the mindset that you have to be so even keel all the time, and just smile a little bit. I got a great smile. I know I do, and I don't do it often enough. And I got a great laugh as well. And so I can share it, and you should share it too.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, that's a beautiful thing, man. I love it, gentlemen. I do. Yeah, I love what we're doing together and being a help to people, right, in this community. Yeah. for it.
Yeah, me too. I want to talk a little bit about what failure built in us, and I'll kick it off, and maybe you two could share something about your stories. But as of today, I'm 205 days alcohol free, and I failed so many times before this streak. Previous to my divorce, I was sober for 15 years. And so I've had these bits and pieces or spouts, I guess you could say, in my life where addiction has plagued me. And it's usually when something big in my life happens. And I look to this topic like failure and just really let it take hold of me. And every time I fell short, I learned something, though. What triggered me, what my limits were, what I was running from. And now I know how to show up differently for
That's
myself, for my wife, for my kids, for y'all.
Yeah.
I'm more patient.
Yeah.
Not every day. I still have a lot to work on. That Hulk in me comes out every now and again that you mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
But I've noticed it and I've journaled about it, and I can see written proof that I am more patient. I'm more grounded and far less full of shit. And that's all because of the failure. Yeah. So my message to y'all is, if you're in the valley right now, don't curse it. Mine it for gold. Take it for what it's worth, because it's yours for the taking. You just got to flip your mindset. And it's not easy. I get it. Some days you're not going to believe that message, and it's going to show up ugly for you. But just don't stay there, like I said before.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Wow. Me? Wow. I mean, that's powerful. Mine it. Go. Wow, that's deep.
That's some words right there.
That's some words, man. It's like,
I'm not a rapper, but I got bars.
You got bars, bro. Yeah.
Let's go.
Max 100. Yes, you definitely got bars. Man. I was like, let me drink some water and go. Okay, see y'all tomorrow.
Peace. All right, we'll end it right there, guys. All right, we're done. All right, we're done right there.
Oh, I love it. I'm glad I can make y'all smile.
He's pulling the string. He's pulling the curtains closed. Like, okay, all right. That was good, man. That was good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like the hook. That was funny. Yeah,
y'all are making me cry. Happy tears.
But we needed this. It's all good. No worries there.
That was good, man. For me, it brought out how to love, right? Because I failed in marriage before. I was married before. Failed in that. Failed in, relationships, failed in so many different things, man. But for me, when I went back and I analyzed it, right? I talked about this today when I went live on a different platform, that you are the common denominator in every relationship that you're, in. It's about you. And once I learned that about myself, that failure taught me how to pour love back onto me when I was dry, when I was thirsty, when I was, deprived for it. And once I became better at it, right? And I still work on it daily. You have to. It allowed me to love more purely. It allowed me to do my pose. It allowed me to listen to people. It allowed me to accept so many different people, no matter who you are, right? Come on in here. I'll listen to you. It allowed me to learn how to seek, to understand people, right? And ask the question, well, why? Well, then what happened after that, right? That's who I am. And that's how to me, that's what happened. Yeah. It brought out a pure love for people when I purely loved myself. But failing in those relationships, it led me down this journey to find you guys, and I love it.
So powerful.
Yeah.
I would have to say mine is it's kind of like a mix of all of it together. It's kind of weird because, like, when I finally hit that fail point, that what I believe is my lowest point, it just hitting that 5 years sober, man. I still can't get over that, man.
Oh, man.
I've been through it multiple times too, Lyman. I honestly multiple times. I tried. This was number 4. I mean, this wasn't like an easy time, wasn't like it was just a casual another, one on the fire. It's just like, come on now, guys, let's wake up this time.
Yeah.
Right.
And, and even with past relationships, stuff like that, a lot of that, like you said before, common denominator, it's not just them. I had a lot to do with a lot of it.
Yeah.
But this last time is just what finally was able to bring me out of my shell, actually give me that laughter again, actually give me the chance to succeed in life. And that's just what I needed. It's just, it's hard to put into words sometimes. I'm kind of like tripping over my words as I'm talking, but
Yeah.
it's just, there's no way to actually even put it as well as I'd like to in the way my head right now, the way my brain wants to say it. It's just, I've gone through a lot, and it's right now is that defining moment because of my failures, you know, because of what I did wrong. I'm who I am now. And right now is a huge difference, night and day from what I've ever been my entire life.
And look at all the stuff you created, man. I mean, you're a powerful influence, dude. And
Yes.
I mean, you got an application that's helping other people.
Yes.
You got, you know, a self-help guide. You got this podcast. You got a pretty successful TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, you're helping other people, and you show up every day. And sometimes you don't the way that you want, you know, like you've mentioned in the past. But brother, I'm in it with you, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all trying, man.
Yeah.
We're definitely all going through it.
Yeah. That's real.
Well, gentlemen, we're coming near the end. Let's close this out, fam. I wanted to talk about in this last little bit, laugh at the fall, but stand taller after it. Right?
Definitely. I like that.
You're going to fail. You're going to say the wrong thing. You're going to trip over your healing. You might even relapse. You might mess up dinner, whatever that looks like for you. You might put the IKEA leg on backward. All of it. True. Well, welcome to the club, y'all. We're all in it, brothers and sisters. We mess up, but it doesn't mean that we failed. The key here is if you've learned anything from any of this and enjoyed any of the stories, if you just keep standing up, keep leaning forward, keep learning, keep surrounding yourself with people who remind you of your why.
Yeah.
Like Brian mentioned last episode. You're going to be all right. I promise you. Failure made me who I am today, just like Camp said. It shaped this community. It shaped our individual communities. And it's the price of what I believe transformation is.
Yeah.
So laugh a little, just a reminder. Cry if you have to. I do it all the time. But whatever you do, just don't stop showing up.
That's right.
Because the true failure is when you quit.
Yeah.
And that's
100%.
the only failure. Just keep pushing forward. If this episode hits you, please hit that share button. Tag someone who's been hard on themselves lately and remind them they're not failing. They're just becoming. And we'll see you on the next episode next week. Appreciate y'all. Much love, fam, as always.
That's right.